Hello and welcome. This webinar is all about the financial statement which you are most familiar with, the one which you deal with day to day and on a monthly basis. What you will learn in this webinar will be topic 1 of the business analysis webinar series is about how to read your profit and loss statement. This is a statement which you look at every month, and it is critical you understand how to read and interpret the numbers that feature in it. You are the general manager of the hotel, and you have just completed a slow month of low occupancy and revenues and profits behind budget and forecast. Pause the webinar and write the three most critical numbers in your monthly profit and loss statement you will look at. The three most critical numbers in your monthly profit and loss statement you will look at should be top line, bottom line, and cause in that order. Let us see some actual numbers in a summarized profit and loss statement extracted. In this simplified profit and loss statement, there are only rooms and food and beverage departments. For the moment, forget what the numbers are showing. Focus on what elements of the profit and loss statement the numbers are referring to. You can see that the three most critical elements are revenues, profits, and the cause, both rooms and food and beverage. This is the big picture overview. Every month, you should get into the habit of looking into these three elements in any profit and loss statement. The key thing to remember is that you begin with revenues, top line, without which there are no profits, bottom line. Let us go back to our three critical elements again. So, the three most critical elements in a profit and loss statement of top line, bottom line, and cause are represented here by gross operating revenues, gross operating profit, and the cause, which is both in the rooms and food and beverage operation. For the hotel as a whole, we will see why rooms and food and beverage are considered here as a cause for the entire hotel. This has something to do with the contribution of rooms and food and beverage departments to hotel revenues and profits. In a profit and loss statement for a specific department, for example, food and beverage, however, they will still represent the same elements, revenues, profits, and cause. The only change will be the cause, which will be specific to that department. Let us see how that looks. So, in the case of the rooms department, you are again considering the three critical elements, revenues, profits, and cause. In this case, they are rooms total revenues, rooms total profits, and the cause, occupancy percentage and average rate. First, you need to determine what the total department performance looks like. This is the first important approach to reading a profit and loss statement. Notice something else. In our big picture overview, we have now moved one level down. We are now looking at a specific operational department's performance. It is again critical to repeat that an analysis of a profit and loss statement must always begin with a big picture overview at hotel level, as we did just a couple of slides back. After that, we can drill down and go into specific departments' contribution to the hotel results. However, even in a specific department, the order is still the same: revenues, profits, and cause. Notice also that the cause has now become specific to the rooms department: occupancy and average rate. Let us see the same thing for the food and beverage department. In the case of the food and beverage department, you are again considering the three critical elements: revenues, profits, and cause. In this case, they are food and beverage total revenues, food and beverage total profits, and the cause: covers and average check. Notice that in this big picture overview, you are not looking at individual restaurant performance. That'll come later. First, you need to determine what the total department performance looks like. This is the first important approach to reading a profit and loss statement. We are now looking at the food and beverage department's performance. In our big picture overview, we have now moved one level down. However, even with the food and beverage department, the order is still the same: revenues, profits, and cause. Notice that the cause has now become specific to the food and beverage department: covers and average check. Let us now summarize our learning. The first key concept in reading your profit and loss statement is that you step back and see the entire performance. In other words, you are taking a big picture overview. Next, you identify what is causing the performance in totality. In this approach, you saw how you looked at the gross operating revenues of the hotel, then gross operating profit, and then identified that rooms and food and beverage departments are causing the major revenue and profit performance of the hotel. This is actually true of almost all hotels, irrespective of how big or small the hotel is and how many restaurant outlets are there in the hotel. In the identification of causes, the important thing is to separate business volume from price. Pause the webinar and write down one major relationship you can think of between numbers in your monthly profit and loss statement. Relationships play a powerful role in understanding numbers in a profit and loss statement. We will now look at the most basic relationship of numbers. Every number in your profit and loss statement is related to one or more numbers therein. The most fundamental relationship between numbers is that of the number causing something and the number which becomes the effect. Once you understand how to distinguish which is cause and which is effect in numbers, you will take your understanding of the profit and loss statement to a whole new level. Notice how the cause circle is so much bigger than the effect circle. That is how important cause is compared to effect. There can be different kinds of relationships between numbers in a profit and loss statement. The first of these is related to period. One of the most powerful analytical elements relates to the performance of the current month. In other words, what happened in the current month is the cause, and what is shown in year to date is the effect. What does this mean? Let us take a look at an example. Assume that we have just completed February 2015 month. So the current month this year, 2015, here is the performance for the month of February and for the corresponding month last year. The year to date February 2015 is, however, different. It takes into account the performance of 2 months, January and February 2015, and correspondingly for the last year. This emphasizes a powerful principle of the period based relationship overview. Year to date February 2015 is simply the current month February 2015 performance added to the January performance, and similarly for the last year. So, what changed the year to date of February 2015 from January 2015 is the addition of the February 2015 performance. In other words, year to date is the effect and the current month performance the cause. The next key concept in reading your profit and loss statement is that you begin with the cause and move on later to effect. In other words, you are using the relationship overview. By focusing on what happened during the current month, you are ensuring that you understand what is causing the performance at the level it is. After having understood the cause and effect part, the next most critical relationship in your profit and loss statement is actually locating the cause. What you see as revenues, profits in your profit and loss statement is actually the effect. So then logically, where is the cause? It is in the hotel operation. This is yet another realization which will elevate your understanding of a profit and loss statement a great deal. So, what do we mean when we say the cause is located in the hotel operation? In this profit and loss summary, we see that the gross operating revenue, remember we begin with the revenues first, has increased. It could have increased only due to two reasons: occupancy and average rate. So you have to go into the rooms division performance and market segments to find out which room types and segments had higher occupancy, and similarly for the average rate. Why your revenue increased and whether due to occupancy more or average rate or both is something that you can only find by going to the hotel operation, rooms division, and sales and marketing. After locating the cause wherever relevant, you have to take action in your hotel operation. This link to your operation slide is another which will pop up in every webinar. Check back with your hotel operation and your monthly profit and loss statement for the relationship overview. The next major area in understanding and reading a profit and loss statement is about variances. Variances broadly show you whether performance became better or worse. In other words, did your revenues increase or decrease? And similarly, did your profits increase or decrease? Between revenues and profits is, of course, expenses. A key concept in reading your profit and loss statement relating to variances is that you concentrate on current month performance increases or decreases in variances first. When you look at variances for profits, you have to see it in two ways. Did profit increase because revenue increased, or did profit increase because expenses decreased? Normally, it is a mix of both. Here you see that totally for the hotel, expenses have increased. However, within departments, you may find some expenses going down and others going up. In the previous Business Concepts webinar series, you also learned about fixed and variable expenses. Why should we separate profit variances between revenues and expenses? This is simply because of the relationship overview we started with, finding cause in the hotel operation. If you want to analyze how your profit went up or came down, you must first find out how much of it is due to revenues and how much due to expenses, and then do the same thing going into each department. Remember how we did it for rooms and food and beverage. Let us do a quick review. I will see you in the next webinar.
Thank you for watching this video and the tips and techniques presented on mastering hotel and restaurant profitability. If you liked the video, click the subscribe button below to enjoy more such videos every Friday. See you next Friday with another useful video on mastering hotel and restaurant profitability. Here is to your continuous success.